In accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act.
You can take the roll, please.
Mr. Ratner?
Here.
Mr. Reaver?
Here.
Ms. Fass?
Here.
Mr. Lewis?
Here.
Mr. Dufford?
Here.
Ms. Khanna?
Here.
Chairman Fernandez?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, here.
All right, Mr. Diner, Mr. Butani, Ms. Wishnu, and Vice Chair Santola are not present. We do have our attorney, Assistant Township Engineer, and our planner. We have a quorum, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. If you can please call the first matter.
That matter that is scheduled for this evening is preliminary and final site plan with variances and amendment for Block 6100, Lot 5, 70 South Orange Avenue, application number 2024-74-PFSP, and amendment for Camelot Associates LP.
Thank you. And just to review the general procedure for tonight's hearing, the applicant is represented by an attorney who will explain the application. The applicant's attorney will call one or more witnesses to give sworn testimony in support of the application. Members of the board may ask the witness questions, and when the attorney for the applicant has no more questions for a witness, interested parties in favor of or in opposition to the application may question the witness about that witness's testimony. When all the applicant's witnesses have testified, if there's an entity or group formally appearing as a party in support of or in opposition to the application, that party may call witnesses. And when all the witnesses of all parties have been heard, members of the public may give sworn statements for or against the application. So, welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening to you and board members, board professionals, members of the public. My name is Johnny Messino here from the law firm of Inglesino Taylor. How's that? Okay. From Inglesino Taylor, representing the applicant, Camelot Associates LP, owner of the subject site, which is Lot 5 in Block 6100 on the official tax map of the Township of Livingston and otherwise known as 70 South Orange Avenue. As the board will recall, you granted preliminary and final site plan approval for the subject project with variance relief by resolution unanimously adopted by the board on October 21, 2025. The project consists of 223 units of multifamily housing plus one additional on-site superintendent's unit for a total of 223 total units, 45 of which units are dedicated to satisfying a portion of Livingston's affordable housing requirement. You may also recall that this project is in the R5Q overlay zone and is part of Livingston's third round housing element and fair share plan. The variance relief granted by the board was for the size of the parking spaces on the site and permits all parking spaces to have a depth of 18 feet without overhang, which is a variance from the figures of Township Code Section 170-3. Additionally, the board granted a waiver from the submission of environmental impact statement since the subject property is currently substantially developed and the proposed building will not deviate substantially from the size of the existing building. Tonight's amended application does not seek to change the number of units, nor does it seek to change the affordable housing component. All the applicant is requesting is to reduce the building footprint of the building while maintaining the number of units and the mix of market rate and affordable units. Additionally, the applicant seeks to reduce the number of parking spaces located under the building and increase the surface parking area, resulting in a slight net increase in parking for the project. We have two witnesses for this evening, Mr. Chairman. The first is the project engineer, Peter Miskoff from Casey and Keller.
Spell his last name, please.
Miskov. Peter works with Mike Lanzafama, who could not attend tonight's hearing. You'll also hear testimony from the applicant's architect, Jack Raker, R-A-K-E-R. We have received two comment letters in connection with this amended application. The first was from the Livingston Engineering Department dated March 26 of 2026. The second is from Beacon dated March 31 of 2026. And we can address those comments at the appropriate time. We want to get into testimony first, so Mr. Chairman, without further ado, I'd like to call Mr. Peter Miskoff.
My practice is that I swear in all the witnesses right now, so I don't forget to do it later. So
You got it. Let's swear them all in.
and the board experts too. Everyone please stand up.
Can
Can everyone please stand up? Raise your right hands. I'm going to start over here, go right around the semicircle. Identify yourself for the record.
Jack Raker?
Okay, and you are a RA,
Architect, yes. Peter Miskov?
and you're a PE.
Yes.
Barbara Allen,
You're a PP.
correct?
Rocco Marucci? PE.
P, okay. Up. Everyone swear or affirm that the testimony you're going to give in this application will be the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth.
I do.
I did.
Okay.
You got me scared. Catherine's in the back.
Okay, you ready, Peter?
Okay.
All right, so we'll just qualify Mr. Miskoff first. Just if you can just briefly describe your professional background, your educational background, and any licenses that you possess.
Sure. I'm a civil engineer with Casey and Keller of Millburn, New Jersey. I've been practicing site engineering with C&K and Michael Lanzafama for the past 13 years. I have a civil engineering degree from Rutgers, New Brunswick. Can you guys hear me? And I hold a professional engineer's license in the state of New Jersey that's current.
And you've appeared before boards?
Tip that microphone up a little. Tilt your microphone up a little.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is that better?
You've appeared and been accepted as an expert witness in the area of civil engineering from other boards in New Jersey?
I have.
Well, Mr. Chairman, respectfully, we submit Mr. Miskoff as an expert in civil engineering.
Any questions from the board or any objections? The board accepts you as an expert in civil engineering.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Miskoff, if you could just kindly walk the board through the changes in this amended application?
Sure. If I could open up the plans. So Casey and Keller worked on the original approval and also worked on this amended application. I'm familiar with the submitted application, all the associated reports, and I visited the site on several occasions. The project site, as mentioned by Mr. Inglesino, is located at 70 South Orange Avenue and is designated as Tax Lot 5, Block 6100 in the Livingston Township tax maps. The proposed development received initial preliminary and final site plan approval granted on September 2nd, 2025, and memorialized on October 7th, 2025, to construct a 223 multifamily residential development with ground-level garage and surface parking spaces with associated site improvements. We were working on resolution compliance when the client proposed an alternate design to reduce the building's footprint. The proposed amendments to the application only relate to the modifications to the building footprint and site revisions to accommodate the same. Overall, minimal in nature, no changes to the demolition plan. I'd like to bring up a rendering of the site plan.
Is this an exhibit, or was this
It's
submitted
an
with the
exhibit.
package? So this will be A1?
You guys have a hard copy or a digital copy of this exhibit for the board's file?
Yes, we
I
have
can
that.
send it to everybody. I don't think they have it yet.
It's not color, let me just take a look.
Yeah, so it looks like the one that the board has.
Yeah, that's
is
not
black and
colorized.
white. So can you email that to the board, to Jackie, the colorized copy? And that's A1.
A1.
And give a description in the lower right-hand corner. What does it say? Last revised date. A1 is?
2/25/2026. It's the same as the site plan, last revision.
Okay, and what's the name of this plan? Exhibit A1 is named what?
It's just a site plan that's with
Yeah, but
colors,
what does it say on it?
site plan.
It says site plan, okay.
That's page 4 of the site plan, I believe.
Page 5.
5?
Okay, site plan sheet 5. Last revised 2/25/2026, color render, correct?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, sheet 5. Okay. As you can see, the building setbacks for the front yard and the western side of the property, side yards remain exactly the same as the approved plans. The rear yard slightly increases due to the shorter building length.
I think you have a
Yeah.
problem there on the
You have a little
screen.
glitch.
You turn around, you have to hit OK on
Oh.
the first. There you go, we're all set.
Got it. The main setback that changes is the easterly property line, where it increases to 126 feet, 34 feet, instead of the original 108.36. The reduced building footprint results in building coverage that reduces from 131 square feet to 127, 698 square feet, a reduction of 4,433 square feet of building coverage. Minor changes have been made to the site parking configuration to accommodate the smaller building while maintaining the same overall impervious coverage for the site. A minimal increase of 50 square feet to 172,437 square feet is proposed and still compliant with the Livingston ordinance. If I zoom in here a little bit. An additional, why is it good? An additional row of 90-degree parking stalls were added here where the previous building used to be. And changes to the fire access on the westerly side modified for the new building location. Those are the two main site configuration changes. As Jack Raker, the architect, will attest, the reduced building still contains the same overall amount of units, 223. However, minor changes have been made to the unit mix. So the proposed building now contains 48 one-bedrooms, 151 two-bedrooms, 24 three-bedrooms. As a result, the parking demand has been updated accordingly. 439 spaces are required now per RSIS, minus a one-to-one EV bonus of 24 spaces. That totals out to 415 spaces required.
And how many are provided?
We are providing a total of 416 spaces. We had a typo on our site plan where we thought we had 344 garage stalls. We actually have 342. So with 342 garage spaces and 74 surface spaces, we provide 416 spaces in the amended improvements. A majority of the previous approved application is being maintained and complies with the resolution of approval from September of last year. The current design continues to utilize 9x18 stalls, similar to the previous approved application. Also similar, the visitor parking will be accommodated with the 74 exterior parking spaces and a cordoned off section of the garage in this area for 38 spaces to comply with the RSI standards of visitor parking stalls where 112 are required. Sorry? There's, per ADA standards, 9 are required. We're proposing 11. Did we?
Ha-ha. I've been telling him, he's been ignoring me.
I think on one of the plans you had 14 handicap spaces, so you have.
Okay. I think more of them were inside the garage, so when we shortened the building, I believe we lost some handicaps as well.
Yeah, it's still compliant.
Sorry?
Still compliant.
Yes.
Right.
If we look at the grading plan, minor changes, wait, am I on there yet? All the access doors into the building from both exterior and interior parking areas continue to meet barrier-free access for the development. No significant changes have been made to the overall stormwater management system for the development, and it continues to meet New Jersey regulations and best management practices, and it's still compliant for 2050 projected storms. No significant changes have been made to the proposed development utility connections. minor increases to sewer and water flows due to the change in unit mix. Sewer flows increase 450 gallons per day, and water flows increased by 210 gallons per day. It's a minimal amount of increase. If we go to the lighting plan, the lighting plan was also updated to accommodate the smaller building and site plan changes. Changes are minimal. 3 additional wall-mounted fixtures were provided along this building wall here, and 1 fewer pole-mounted fixture along the parking areas. All the changes are minimal and synonymous and compatible with the design parameters of the approved plan. If we look at the landscape plan, same thing. It was revised to accommodate the smaller building and site changes. No changes to tree replacement requirements. 1 additional tree was added and 3 additional shrubs. These changes are minimal and synonymous with the original application in terms of planting design and quantity. If I look at this, I have a comparison of where the new building is. This is, I don't know if we should consider this another exhibit or not.
Does the board have this in its package?
Not colorized, right?
It's not colorized, it just has the old site plan and the new site plan
Yeah,
kind of
let's have
overlaid.
this-
So let's
Let's
make
have this
that
marked as
A2.
Exhibit A2, and can you tell us what this exhibit is called, lower right-hand corner, what sheet, and last revised date?
It's also the site plan.
Okay, site plan sheet, what?
Sheet 5, 02/25/26, same
color.
date.
So we have 2 exhibits, same identification of them.
This is the exhibit we sent to the DEP to show them the difference in our FHA general permit.
Okay, so we're going to call this one the NJDEP Site Plan Sheet 5.
Okay.
Color rendered with the last revised date of 2/25/2026.
Yeah, we've been working with the state to update the DEP FHA individual permit and updated wetlands transition area, and we will provide copies of the same to the board for
And what does the
record.
color rendering show?
So the red outline is the new building, and here. It shows we're not modifying any of the flood hazard areas. We're not changing. The only changes are to the drive here in the front in yellow.
Okay, so the red's remaining the same, remains the same, and the yellow
Is
shows
the new building,
changes.
and the yellow is the changes, correct. And the applicant will satisfy and comply with any outstanding comments from the engineer's review memo and any outstanding comments from Livingston Water and Sewer. If you like the original application, I don't see why that opinion should change.
No further questions for the witness, Mr. Chairman. Turn it back to you and the board professionals and the public for any questions that you all may have.
Can you just go through, there was a slight change in the bedroom mix, the number 1 bedrooms went down.
Yeah, I believe Jack might be able better to handle that difference between the unit mixes. I just brought it up from a parking demand perspective. I'm not sure. I think there's some more 2 bedrooms now.
And I guess you can testify about the distribution of the affordables throughout the project.
That'll be for the architect as well, Mr. Chairman.
And,
Microphone.
sorry. Signage, some of the planners report talked about the planner report, signage, deed restrictions on the dens and on the superintendents, that's somebody else?
So, Chairman, did you bring that up? The deed restrictions were sort of new. They were not included or referenced in any way in the original approval. I guess, we'd like to politely push back on that a little bit. From the perspective of the superintendent, there's 2 problems that causes for us. Number 1, if we were to deed restrict a particular unit, we don't know who the superintendent is going to be or what their family needs might be, so we may have a super that has a 1-bedroom at some point In the future, we may have the super that gets a two-bedroom. The
You
other,
could just have a deed restriction on the property that says one unit has to be for the superintendent, and it doesn't designate
yeah,
which
the other,
unit it is.
the other complication with that is today, this is a rental building entirely, and we would, there's no plans to change that, but none of us can predict what the future may be. At some point, if there would be a conversion of the building from apartments to condominiums, for example, that would pose a problem. The affordable units are rentals, and those are going to be deed restricted as rentals. That will never change.
But that problem could also be overcome by putting a provision in the deed restriction. I've done this not in this particular set of facts, but where if a deed restriction, once it's recorded, the case law says only a court can relieve you from it, not the planning board. But I have put a provision in the deed restriction saying that the planning board can give relief from the deed restriction, and then you could put in whatever terms you want. For example, if you're saying if in the future it goes from rental to sale, then when you come to the planning board, you come back to the planning board to seek to lift that deed restriction. So that's how to get around that objection.
Well, the other issue that we have is we have to deal with lenders. And I got to tell you, and I speak from some experience on this, any deed restrictions that are over and above affordable housing are just going to create an enormous, unnecessary, in our view, challenging complication. We are not objecting to having a superintendent's unit. That's going to be clear. It's in the resolution. It's an obligation.
So what's the concern about just having it deed restricted then, if that's what you're going to do?
The deed restriction is because of the issues that I just outlined, and because in terms of dealing with lenders, deed restrictions are just, everybody has an opinion. And I just don't want to be in a position where we've got to come back to the board because I've got a lender who wants different language in a deed restriction, or a lender who just has a problem with a deed restriction. And that is a real practical concern that we have with regard to a deed restriction. And there really is no, in our opinion, there's really no need for it. It is in the resolution. We're not at all disputing that. The resolution is a public document. The deed restriction is not going to
Yeah,
make...
you know what the problem with that is? Aldridge versus Schwartz is a 1992 appellate division decision down at the Jersey Shore. They had a condition in a resolution. Then a new buyer came in, claimed, there's no way that they're not obligated, and there's no index of restrictions in approval resolutions. In Aldridge versus Schwartz, 258 NJ Super 300, between pages 308 and 310, the appellate division actually recommends that approval conditions be recorded in a deed so future owners are made aware of them. That's the only way to put a future owner on notice, is to have a deed restriction. They're
Well,
not required to look in the resolution.
I didn't
Mr.
read-
Chairman, have we ever made a deed restrictions for just affordable, in all the units, in all the projects we have? Have we, I don't think we had. We had deed restrictions.
That I don't know.
That's up to the board. I'm just
I
giving
know,
the legal
I
advice.
don't know if we have to hand tie them. We've never
That's
done
up
it
to you.
before, and they're,
You have, the zoning board's under deed restrictions? Yeah?
Yeah, the zoning board does deed restrictions.
Well, no, certainly we do deed restrictions in various circumstances. I think what Mr. Reber is referring to, Dr. Reber, is whether we, a deed restriction just for an individual superintendent's unit, which I don't think that would ever be before the Board of Adjustment, because that would inevitably be a site plan for a large multifamily project. I'm just, and I guess I'd ask Barbara, because it was your comment, I think, that started this. Is there a concern that, from an enforcement standpoint, the teeth in the resolution are insufficient, or is it about
It is about notification.
for somebody, a future buyer of the entire building?
Yeah. I will say it was actually incorporated into our first review letter as well.
Okay, and then I guess we didn't notice it, or nobody?
You guys didn't pick it up.
Apparently, okay.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't want to get into a debate with John about the case, but certainly the resolution is a public document, so I think
You have a published case saying that
I'm not gonna-
an owner is not required to
Yeah,
search
I'm
for
not,
him.
I'm not going to argue the case with you, but I think that the statement that it's not available to the public for review is just
I didn't say that. I said
not
the
true.
court said that because,
No, I understand that. I mean, look, it's going to cause us a problem with, deed restrictions are going to cause us problems with financing, and that is
can you explain that? How is that going to cause problems with financing?
because lenders just don't want to lend when there's deed restrictions, and every lawyer who represents a lender is going to have an opinion about what a deed restriction should say or shouldn't say, and it just creates, in our opinion, an unnecessary burden on the applicant here. The restrictions are clear. They're going to be spelled out in the resolution. The applicant is agreeing that a unit will be occupied by the superintendent. We don't know which unit it's going to be. It may change over time with the superintendents, but that is absolutely a condition of approval that this applicant will live with, and by virtue of the resolution will be binding on future application, on future owners. So, I mean, otherwise, I just don't want the hardship of having to come back here and getting in the middle of negotiating deed restriction language with lenders. That's really what it comes down to. It just creates a hardship.
A question. Would it be different if they had to record a copy of the resolution with the deed?
Yeah, if you know what, if you record a copy of the resolution with the deed, that would put future owners on notice. That's another way of doing it.
We
I don't
could-
know if you're going to want the whole that's up to you.
We could, I don't see any reason why we couldn't publish or record a copy of the resolution and make that a matter of public record from a title perspective. We have no problem doing that. I think that's an excellent practical suggestion.
Yeah, I think that would address the concern.
And I guess the same comment, Mr. Chairman, would hold true for the dens as well, although the applicant would offer that in the event that the property were to be converted at some point in the future, then at that point, if you wanted to, we could agree to a deed restriction on the dens. Otherwise, I think it's the same kind of comment. We would just copy.
Well, if the resolution is going to be recorded, you just record the resolution.
Yeah, we'll just record the
You don't put
resolution.
any stipulations on it. If
That's
you were
fine.
going to do
We
deed
can do that.
restrictions, you put the stipulations on, that the board can relieve it and all that. But if you can record the resolution, just record it.
We'll record the resolution.
That'll
We'll
take
agree
care of
to
the
that.
problem, or the issue, not the problem. Barbara, do you have questions from your review letter that should be covered?
I believe you raised the question of where are you putting the generators?
So we're going to hear testimony from the architect on that. Everything else in the review letter is fine. There were 2 points that you've asked for testimony on, which Mr. Raker is going to provide. Yeah, I think the generators and also the bicycle storage room. You had a
Yeah,
question about that being.
It's
at
by
a-
the fire access.
Yeah.
The transformer's there with the generator. It's only for emergency purposes.
But as I said, Mr. Raker is going to provide
Yeah.
testimony on both of those points.
I just have a question on one of mine.
Can you hold up? The discussion is, obviously, the affordable units, those are going to be recorded as a deed restriction for the affordable units.
Absolutely, as required by law, yes.
Correct.
100%.
I just have one. Hello, can you hear me? I have one question.
Can't hear you.
Can't hear me still, I don't know. it was more, I don't know if it's more for the architect, but comment number 8. And it goes back to, you made a comment before about interior parking being partially for visitor. How do you delineate visitor parking inside from, I guess, occupants?
I believe we'll put up some kind of cordon off way to cordon off the visitor parking area. Comment 8, was that the one about the
driveway on the
the drive
inside?
aisle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so again, that goes back to, I don't know how you're separating your visitor parking within the garage from the parking stalls for the residents?
Yeah, it's for Jack.
That'll be for Mr. Raker. We'll
Okay,
address that
perfect.
question.
Thanks.
But we did look at your other comment of potentially moving the drive aisle away from the building wall, and
Yeah, just-
it's possible.
Just to keep it, in line with the other drive aisles. Perfect, thank you.
Do you have any other questions from your report, Rocco?
No, everything else was addressed. I'm good, thank you.
Any questions from the board? Are there any members of the public for questions for this witness about this witness's testimony? Seeing none? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. At this time, I'd like
Thank
to
you.
call up Mr. Jack Raker. And Mr. Raker, I see you've already been sworn. Is your architectural license still in full force and effect?
It is.
Have there been any changes in your professional qualifications since the last time you were accepted by the board?
Other than a few months of experience.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We offer Mr. Raker as an expert in the area of architecture.
Hey, just for the record, you were accepted by the board in the underlying application as an expert in architecture, correct?
Yes.
Any questions from the board? Comments, concerns? Thank you. The board will accept you as an expert in architecture.
Okay, and Mr. Raker, if you could please provide the board with testimony with regard to the architectural revisions that have been made from the previous application.
Sure. I'm going to focus my testimony on the changes. I'm just going to bring this down a little bit. So, and again, you're looking at an exhibit that is rotated from the engineer's exhibit. It's a little bit, it's rotated 90 degrees. Livingston Avenue was
Yeah, these
South
are in the
Livingston.
board's files, correct? What you have up on the screen is in the board file.
Correct. All of the exhibits I'm showing you tonight are in the board's files. Nothing new added color or anything. So what you're seeing in South Livingston Avenue is to the bottom of the sheet versus where the engineers was rotated.
But where's the north arrow?
There is not a north arrow on the sheet.
Where would it be?
It would be pointing to the right, correct? Pointing down? Down and to the right would be the north arrow. So what we did was we took the building and we sort of squeezed it about 16 feet in this direction, and that took some square footage out of the building. And we had some units, some areas in the building, lots of extra amenity. We had some open spaces on the ground floor. If you remember, we had terraces on the 4th floor, and we removed some units to squeeze the building down, and then we infilled all of those interstitial spaces. But everything else about the building has remained unchanged. Reduced a little bit of the amenity area, but we've kept all the programming. We just shrink all those spaces just a little bit.
So this is just like value engineering, but the building assessment in essence remains the same with what it contains.
Exactly. I'm going to go over some of the changes. The unit mix did shuffle a little bit. Building height is the same 65 feet, same 222 dwelling units with the one superintendent unit, and we have 178 market rate with the 45 affordable. The affordable mix remains the same at 9 1s, 27 2s, and 9 3s. And so we have two types of one-bedrooms, a one-bedroom and a one-bedroom den. The one-bedrooms were reduced from 27 units down to 25. And then the one-bedroom dens were reduced from 29 units down to 23. And then the two-bedrooms increased from 84 up to 94. The two-bedroom dens
Is
and
that on a chart somewhere in the?
it is on the cover sheet of my architectural set.
Okay.
And then the 3 bedrooms remain the same. So again, same entry location. We do have a bike storage area that did reduce slightly in size, but not by much.
You said the 3 bedrooms remain the same?
Correct.
Thought they 26 to 24?
26.
Okay, so there were,
The current project unit mix on the cover sheet had 24 three-bedroom units?
Can I just zoom in here? How do you do that? Right-click and zoom?
yeah, the prior application approved 26. I thought this one was 24.
Why is it not? There we go. Oh, I'm sorry, 24. That's correct, 24.
Okay.
So that's a total of 222 dwelling units with 1 superintendent unit. So again,
94.
same amenities down in this lower right-hand corner. We have the bike storage area, we have the pet wash, same access locations as previously shown. We did add a little bit of parking. We reduced the lobby space a little bit. We had some amenity space in the lobby that was redundant to something upstairs, so we added some parking. Lower right-hand
Jack,
corner.
the resolution of approval from October 21, let's see here. Never mind, I was looking at the affordables.
Yeah.
There's a chart on the bottom of page 9 on that resolution, John.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. For total project on 3 bedrooms, it says 26.
Thanks.
17 for the market and 9 for the affordable.
We have 24 currently.
How many are the affordables? The affordable are the ones that are going to be subject to,
Correct. So we have 9, 27, and 9. So 9 one-bedrooms, 27 twos, and 9 threes.
For the affordables.
so the affordables have stayed the same, and you just dropped off 2 3-bedrooms from the market rate units. That's what you're saying?
Correct.
And where did those 2 3-bedrooms go? We just want to make sure that the math adds up.
They were removed from the unit count.
Like I said, if the board has no problem with them knocking off 2 3-bedrooms from the
No,
market rate units.
I understand, but we have the same number of units.
Same number of units,
Right, so if
223.
we lose 2 3-bedroom market rate
You
units,
picked up 2 somewhere else.
well, that's what I'm asking, is where do we pick those up?
We have 10
more
extra
two
two-bedroom
bedrooms and
units.
dens, less
Okay.
1-bedrooms. It's all in Barbara's report.
All right, so we've picked those up in 2 bedrooms, 2-bedroom
If
units?
anybody-
Correct.
Okay, got it.
So again, at the amenity level, at the next level up, I don't know if you remember, but there was an expanded amenity level here. You were able to walk from one side of the amenity to the other. Since we reduced the building, removed stacks of units, we replaced those areas, we inserted units into those locations. So you can't travel without going through the building now from one outdoor amenity area to the other. But again, we have nice package of amenity spaces, the same program as we had before, just slightly reduced in size. And, we had pet spa, bike storage, we had utility, move-ins, indoor and outdoor amenity spaces, lounge, co-work, fitness, all of those. We also have there's another spa location, so there's plenty of amenity in this building. Same as before, trash is handled the same as way, chutes down through the garage, down, and then managed by management. The only thing about the roof plan that's slightly different is we used to have proposed a roof area, amenity area on the roof. We've removed that amenity area as well. As far as aesthetics, the building remains substantially the same. You'd have to really take a look through to find any real differences. We did remove some balconette railings. We removed a couple of bay windows. But other than that, the same quality materials, the same form, proportions that the previous building had. This is a view from South Livingston. Another view from South Livingston from the other direction. And then a view of that entry courtyard. If there are any other questions, let me know. That completes my testimony.
Just, if you can address Barbara's comments, I think you did in some degree, but just want to make sure she's okay and the board's okay with the testimony with regard to the bike storage room and a requirement to store electric bikes, batteries in a fire-safe environment.
So one of the things, we're lucky to have this podium construction, which means that first level's all concrete type 1A construction. So it's concrete walls, concrete ceiling, floors, and that's where the bike storage room is. So we will allow e-bikes to be stored, we'll put some charging in there, but it is in a fully enclosed type 1A construction environment. Just like the,
Is the applicant willing to put in the lease agreements that e-bikes have to be stored and charged in the bicycle storage room?
Yes, absolutely.
We just don't want residents pulling them up and then.
I believe we already had that in the prior resolution.
Okay. And by the way, just for the record too, we do confirm the continued acceptance and compliance with all the prior conditions of approval. And then, Jack, if you can also just discuss, I was doing some math, so maybe you did it, the proposed locations of the emergency generators for the pump station and the residential development?
sure. So to the right-hand corner of the building where the fire access is for the garage, just behind there, we have a generator and a transformer.
And the generator? And that's approximately how large you think the generator will be? Or are you thinking something larger?
I'm going to guess, we haven't engineered it, maybe 6 feet by 8 feet.
Okay, but you have enough.
Plenty of
room in your
space,
lot
and
coverage.
if you look at the landscape plan, it's screened.
Okay.
It'll cover emergency, like elevators and any type of lighting that is required.
It will cover heat and not air conditioning for the individual units?
Not heat for the units, no, not air conditioning for the units, but it may do common spaces and then some common charging. So if you need to charge your phone, if you lose some power, you can go down and get your phone charged.
I think it's also going to power your pump station though, correct?
Oh, yeah, we're gonna have to power some of the pump stations
'cause you have a
and
sewer
stuff.
pump.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
And then, Jack, if you can address Rocco's comment there, number 8 in his report, with regard to separating out the visitor parking.
Oh, that's right. So all visitors will be directed to go to the lobby. We have that entry courtyard area, so all visitors will be directed to go there. There will be directed then to park in the outdoor spaces, but if they need access to the garage, they'll be provided access to the garage and shown where to go.
I got you. So there's no separate visitor parking
No,
within the
we're not
garages.
separating with gates or anything. It's all going to be fully managed.
And then my only other comment was, again, if you zoom into that garage entrance there, and it's just for consideration, it's up to you. When you look at that drive aisle up against the wall,
This one here? And it has zigzags here?
it's behind that,
You
Change the
got
password.
something up there, Jack, turn
Oh.
around there, just put okay.
I don't have control over that, though.
There
Thank
go.
you.
Okay.
so if you zoom down a little bit.
So it's this one right here?
Correct, yeah, and if you zoom the page down a little bit, the other direction, so you have that drive aisle there, wouldn't it make sense to line it up, right? And then put parking up against the wall and otherwise you have a kind of like an awkward like bend in there.
That's correct. And the engineer actually did a quick layout to test it, and we can accommodate
Okay,
that.
and again, that's just, I'm making that comment, suggestion internally for yourselves, because it's within the garage, but just a thought, that's why I wanted to bring that up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We would also include in the prior resolution about working with Newark Academy for their main. Has that been, where does that discussion take place? Not yet, okay.
Not yet.
Still too early for that? And what's the locations of the affordables throughout the property?
Has that changed at all, Jack?
It hasn't changed at all. The locations that were shown were in the same
So they continue
locations.
to be spread out throughout the,
They're throughout the entire project. The 3 bedrooms are where the market rate 3 bedrooms are. They're on these inside corners in the front. The 1-bedroom affordables are in these inside corners throughout the project. And the 2 bedrooms are
But they're delineated
just throughout.
on, they're
They are
delineated
delineated on the
plans,
plan.
and they're not
noted.
changing from what was prior approved.
and what's the plan to keep people from using the dens as bedrooms? Just,
Typically, and we can ask management, but typically they're deed restricted, they're told at the time they lease, and then there are inspections that are done on these units.
so they are
Well,
usually deed restricted then?
No, no.
No,
he-
no,
he-
it's in the
That's what I thought I
lease.
heard.
In the lease,
Okay.
it's
not gonna be
mentioned in the
deed
lease that they're not
restricted. It's gonna
allowed to be used.
Okay.
Least restricted.
Lease
Yeah,
restricted.
at least restricted. All right, Jack. Got the relief pitcher coming in. There will be reference to that restriction in the lease. We've agreed to that. That'll be a condition of approval. There will be periodic inspections for maintenance and the like, which is very typical in these types of buildings. And so if there is anyone breaking the rules with regard to that, we'll pick it up in the lease inspections, in the maintenance inspections, I should say.
And I think one of the comments in one of the review letters was, the signage, the colors of the sign, just talk about what the signage colors were, what they're going to look like. Has that been?
We haven't fully designed the colors of the signage, but we know we'll comply with the size requirements. Our intention is to put them over I believe I have an exhibit also in my set here. Having trouble there. Here's an exhibit here of a blow-up of the signage. The colors we're not sure yet. Likely to be cut-out letters, be backlit in some way, so that you'll be able to see them in the evening.
I think there might also be, there's a monument sign at the entrance, correct?
Yes.
And is that entrance signalized?
Yes.
So you just have to be aware of what colors you're using. The township doesn't permit, red, yellow.
Within a certain distance from a light.
Okay, we'll comply.
Barbara, do you have any other questions or anything that needs to be dealt with from your review letters?
Not at this time.
Thank you. Rocco, anything from you?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Any questions from the board? Seeing none, any questions from the public for this witness as to his testimony? Seeing none. Thank you.
Chairman, I don't want to stand in the way of the board members getting home earlier tonight than they and getting home any later than they have to. So just want to say that we thank you for your time and attention.
Just before, so just to cover all our bases, any members of the public want to make sworn statements for or against the application? Seeing none, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Just want to thank the board for your time and attention to this amended application. Also thank the board professionals as well.
Just to be clear, there are no variances, no exceptions, no waivers or anything that are required for the amended approval. Any other relief was granted in the initial approval, correct? Correct.
That is 100% correct.
For the benefit of the board, the test is on a site plan application. The test on a site plan application is if the application complies with all ordinance requirements, the board must grant approval. So if the amended application doesn't require any variances or exceptions, just saying.
So the parties having had an opportunity to make closing statements, it appears to the chair and the applicant, and all interested persons and board members have had reasonable opportunity to be heard, and the evidentiary record of this hearing ought to be closed. Absent objection, and in the absence of any motion for a continuance, the evidentiary record is closed, and no further testimony or evidence shall be heard or received. So the board members now have an opportunity to state and discuss their views. Anybody?
Seems pretty straightforward. I think it meets all the prior criteria. I don't see any reason to not approve it. So I'll make a motion to approve.
With the, subject to the conditions that we've discussed today, and
Yes.
with the,
I took notes.
I'm sure you,
I took notes.
Copious notes.
and also recording the resolution with the deed in lieu of putting the restriction specifically
Yeah,
in
and that's
the
going to be
deed.
the initial resolution and this resolution
Correct.
granting the amended approval.
Both.
I'll second that motion.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, Ms. Khanna is going to be voting in place of absent member Diner.
Thank you.
That's yours.
Mr. Lewis?
Yes.
Ms. Fass?
Yes.
Mr. Ratner?
Yes.
Mr. Reber?
Yes.
Mr. Dufford?
Yes.
Ms. Khanna?
Yes.
Chairman Fernandez?
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries.
Thank you, board.
Okay, thank you. With that, nothing further. If I can have a motion to adjourn. Good to go home?
Michael?
I heard a motion. Thank you.
Motion to adjourn.